G'day viewers, I hope you are well. I just got over a bit of a head cold myself, but I'll give you a quick tip on that. Drink lots of water. Have a water bottle with you all the time and just constantly drink it. And what happens is you'll flush out the virus out of your system because your white cells attack the virus in your system, which then turns it into a form of mucus, which is then expectorated out of your nostrils and out of your mouth when you cough it up. And that flushes the virus out of your system. But water is a key component in cell creation, the creation of all kinds of cells, including blood cells and white cells. So you need hydration to be able to keep replenishing the cells. So drink loads of water and you'll flush a virus out of your system, guaranteed. Anyhow, that's just something on the side. The reason I wanted to speak to you guys was because I was just watching a YouTube video recently, and I was disappointed because I noticed that there are some well-meaning people out there, or maybe they're not that well-meaning, I don't know, but they're out there and they're putting stuff out, ostensibly to be prophetic, or in line with Christianity or Christian teachings. I think there's a lot of people out there that hang around Christians and Christian teachings, and but unfortunately they're getting a lot of things way wrong. There's a lot of hypocrisy within church organizations, religious leaders, religious teachers, people who claim to be teachers or preachers, even people out there who claim to be prophets and things of that nature. There's a lot of hypocrisy out there, a lot of misleading, a lot of false doctrines, false teachings. Sure, people have accused me of getting involved with the New Age and stuff like that, or whatever, that I'm teaching that. But I'm not teaching that. I'm exposing things like that into the light of Christianity because it's out there. I'm exposing things like the alien deception because these are things that are on people's minds, and these are things that are going to become more prominent as we head into the end times. There will be more alien deceptions. There has been alien deceptions in the past, on radio. There's so many things on YouTube about it. They're trying to deceive people into believing that there are extraterrestrial beings out there that are benevolent or going to be helpful and going to intervene in humanity and help us with our problems. That's a complete lie. Because what are being passed off as extraterrestrials are actually demonic creatures, fallen angels, they're demons. And that's direct teachings from the Bible. God, Jesus, angels, demons, these are all things in the Bible. They're not New Age teachings at all. It's in the Bible. Read it for yourself. It's not New Age. But the truth of that exposes a lot of this New Age crap. That there are aliens and stuff, or whatever, which is a lie, a deception. So the big problem with these people that I can see is that they're failing with the big things that matter in Christianity, the big things that matter. Okay, so the big teachings of Christianity that Jesus made very clear, were love your neighbour, love the Lord your God. I think it was probably in the opposite order to that. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And the second commandment, which is like it, love your neighbour. So they're the two big teachings of Christianity. We're supposed to be people who love God the person of Jesus, and the expression of the love of Jesus is the love of humanity and people in need, our neighbours. So the person you walk past, like the person I walked past in the street tonight who was lying in a doorway outside a nightclub on Oxford Street, that person represents Jesus. That's what Jesus taught us. If you see somebody who's in need, that person is effectively God. So by loving that person in need, we are expressing our love for God. And that's a very clear teaching of Christianity. So being charitable, loving people within churches, outside of churches, loving God, so showing worship to God. But it's not about singing and clapping hands and jumping up and down. on a stage. That's not what worshipping God is. It goes back to those core principles that I've already explained to you. Love God and love your neighbour. So you've got to be doing Christianity, not treating it like it's a party or something like that, or a social club or a clique group. It's none of those things. It's not a clique social group. It's not about throwing money into a bag and thinking you can buy your way into heaven. That's not what it is. It's none of that. So, but people are focused on that within church communities. They're focusing on the money aspect of it. They keep banging on about it just about every Sunday you go down to a church. Partner with us and give us lots of money, because that's the answer to getting into heaven. Because they're focused on money is the answer to everything. To them, in their hypocritical teachings, their answer is money. And they don't acknowledge the power of God at all. They try to run down Jesus and his teachings. They try to make a mockery as if that was possible, as if that was even possible. They try to make a mockery of Christianity in their teachings, run it down, and say it's all just about giving us money. Partner with us because we'll help you get things or achieve goals in life because you're paying us off. That's basically what it boils down to with these people. So they're getting the big things of Christianity completely wrong. They're dismissive of people who have any genuine need, that are experiencing pains, stresses and strains of life, domestic problems in their family, personal griefs and grievances. They dismiss all those people. Mental illness or whatever, drug and alcohol problems, stuff like that. They will dismiss all those people and just focus on the rich people that have got lots of money that can throw money into them. They want rich people that are happy dancing people that have got loads of money. That's what these religious leaders are focused on. And they want to hang out with all the, the young people and the people that have got big career aspirations. They're going to become doctors, they're going to become lawyers, they're going to become bankers, or whatever, and they've got loads of cash. So they focus on all them to get their money. But the real Christians who are suffering, who don't have a job or can't get a job, who are being persecuted, who are genuinely in need with aches and pains and illnesses and family grief and grievances and stuff like that, they dismiss them. They're a nuisance to them. They couldn't be bothered with them. They're a nuisance to them because they're not genuine Christians. They're hypocrisy, unfortunately. That's what we're seeing. They don't get the big things that matter right, but they'll want to focus on the trivial things that don't matter. And they'll want to use that as a means of judgment. They want to try and judge the real Christians based upon these trivial things that don't matter. Trivial things that don't matter. That are of little or no consequence. I've personally been getting into the practice of yoga because I do have aches and pains, back aches and things like that, neck aches, joint aches, difficulty with sleeping, things like that. So I thought I'd get into the practice of yoga, and I've been going on along for almost a month now, and it's been an exceedingly positive experience, I have to say. I could recount all the benefits of yoga to you. There are many. One of them is that you're activating your breathing, your diaphragm breathing. You're relearning how to breathe using your diaphragm to inhale deeply, and get your lungs working again, and to have that as a natural automatic thing happening in your life. Instead of getting around gasping for shallow breaths, you're breathing normally and freely. So you're not in this state of depression. You can't breathe, you see, like George Floyd or whatever. They can't breathe people in society. Yoga helps you breathe. That's a positive thing. It's helped me breathe and improve my breathing. That's just one aspect of it. Another aspect is muscle, tissue, and joint health. Because yoga stretches, elongates your joints, your muscles, your tissues, your bones or skeletal structure. It alleviates a lot of issues relating to like backache, neck ache, joint ache. So I was getting a lot of issues with pain in my lower back, because over time your back starts to compress. It compresses from a constant pounding of walking around, lifting things, all that sort of stuff. You're literally, your discs start to compress, and the soft stuff in between them, the discs, starts to get squeezed out, and it puts pressure on the nerves and causes pain. So you've got to try and decompress those joints, so that the soft tissue cartilage or the discs in between can go back to normal, because they squeeze out and start to press on your nerves in your back and cause pain. So it'll decompress them and they'll come back to normal size again, and the pain is gone. So that's a part of what yoga does for you. It decompresses your spine. It helps you relearn breathing. It decompresses your spine. They're all positive benefits. And that's only two that I've mentioned. There are many more than that. And I'm only starting to learn about it. Another one is you start learning where your body holds tension in certain places. You can actually learn to hold tension in your body unconsciously. So say you have an injury or something, you have an injury to your knee or your shoulder, your neck or something like that. The muscles will tense up around that area. They will tense up around it and try and hold it in place, or try to compensate for the injury or problem. But over time, if you're consciously doing that for a long period of time, eventually you'll subconsciously start doing it. You'll subconsciously start holding it. You'll automatically be holding tension in parts of your body long after the actual acute injury has gone. So once you become aware of all these parts of your body that are holding tension and stuff like that, you can then unlearn that and start to relax these tense areas. That's another aspect that's positive in yoga. Okay, so I had to pause there for a second, but I'm back. So basically, we're not qualified as Christians to judge. The Bible text on that is, judge not, lest we be judged. By the standard we judge others, by that standard will we be judged. So Christians are not actually qualified to judge each other. Sure, we can make observations and we can point things out. It's called rebuking somebody, rebuking or admonishing. It's 2 Timothy 3:16, all scripture is God-breathed, useful for teaching, rebuking, admonishing. So we can point out that people are making gross, manifest errors in their practice of Christianity. But it's not judging, it's rebuking. There's a big difference. But then when you go down this path of splitting hairs over trivial things that are of little or no consequence, and trying to condemn people based on that, that's being judgmental. It is. It certainly is. If a Christian is getting the big things that matter right in their life, then, and you're not, then you're not qualified to judge the other person. How could you possibly be qualified to judge another person if you're not getting the big aspects of Christianity right in your life, and they are? And you're splitting hairs over trivial things of little consequence that don't really matter. Like, they've got a pack of playing cards at home, or they listen to rock and roll music or something like that, and you're going to say that's evil or that's evil. You're going to say yoga because it uses terms like corpse pose, that is evil. It's just a terminology for people that are laying flat on their back with their arms out. That was actually the position that Jesus was found on the cross, the corpse pose. Excuse me, I've got some other people. Well, too many interruptions. Hey, that's what happens. It's 2 a.m. and you're getting people coming into the hotel wanting to book a room. and check in, you know. And it's amazing how you don't just get one couple coming in at 2 a.m, you get two couples coming in, one after the other. It's just random, but that's what happens. I don't know why. Two lots of people turning up at the same time. It always happens like that. Never just one, and then later another one. Two at the same time. Big group, all at the same time. People seem to travel in packs. Somehow. I don't know. They just do it. Yeah, so we've got to get the big things right in Christianity. Focus on the big things. It's like the story of Martha and Mary. You know, when Jesus is invited to a home, and there are two, I think they're sisters in the story. One of them's name is Martha, the other one's name Mary. I believe it's Mary that's paying attention to Jesus. She's sitting close to him, listening to what he's having to say, listening to his teachings, you know, listening to the words of God from the lips of God himself. You know, what a wonderful thing that would be. Whereas Martha is fussing around with all these things that don't matter, that are trivial. You know, like, what do we do for, like, tossed salad, you know? Where are we going to put seat the people, you know, or whatever. Fussing around with household, worldly, domestic duties that, as Jesus points out, are of little or no consequence. When he says that there's only one thing that really mattered, and Mary chose the thing that mattered. Pay attention to God, listen to what he has to say, and then put it into action. So don't be worried about all these trivial things that have got little or no consequence when you're not getting the big things right. So, you know, these people that go online and start judging people, you know, because of things that are trivial or of little or no consequence, or you can split hairs about whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, you know, whether they're supposedly evil or witchcraft or something, or new age or whatever, you know, or a cult or something, when most likely they're just harmless things. You know, most likely it's harmless, or even it could be beneficial. I mean, who's to say that modern medicine isn't evil or witchcraft or whatever? To a lot of cultures it would be. It would be magic, it would be evil, it would be witchcraft. Modern medicine. So, splitting hairs about that stuff. Splitting hairs about things that are little or no consequences. That's a big problem. So don't be doing that. Focus on the big things of Christianity that matter. So God bless, and I'll speak to you guys again later.